Hey everybody, welcome back to Craps University. We're going to talk something today. We're going to talk about adding or removing odds on, say, a pass line bet, or better yet, a come bet with odds, and how you do that, why you do that, and kind of some theories behind it. So let's say on a $25 table, a point just gets set. And, there's a few rolls that happen, a 4, a 5, and let's say, okay, we got a 6, and you want to do 2 times odds. Just look at your dealer and saying, odds behind my 6. Or let's say one of those was a come bet, and you want to stick with a flat bet for a little bit, and then the next roll is a 6. Interesting. And then you toss them 2 and say, odds behind my 5. And they put odds behind the 5 for you. So that is no problem. Communicating with your dealer and getting your odds placed or taken down is appropriate. So on a $25 table, on a 6 or 8, you can put, on a $25 flat bet, you can put up to 125. That's 5 times. This is Las Vegas style odds. 5 and 9. 4 times odds, or $100 behind your 25, and 4, 10, 75. So when you want to add odds after the come out roll, or after any roll period, all you got to do is wait for the dice. The stick man will put them in the center, usually around that area, and that's the time to do it. Now, if the stick man has started to move the dice to the shooter, I'd just be courteous and not throw out an odds bet at that time, either to a dealer or behind a pass line. You can do it on a don't come or a don't pass as well. Just be very aware that, the dealer is aware of what you're doing. And why would you do this mid-roll? Maybe you started with a flat bet because you wanted to see a couple rolls first. Maybe you don't trust the shooter, or the shooter's new to you. Or maybe you're waiting on a certain feel or a table rhythm before pressing or adding odds. So removing or reducing, how do you take those down? Again, wait until the dice are in the center, and if they're up here on the come bets, you can just say, dealer, take my odds down. And really, they will just take your odds down and hand it back to you. They have to leave the flat bet because that's a contract bet. Now, that's the same with the back. You can just pick those up. Try to let the dealer know what you're doing, so there's no surprises on payouts. If they see a big stack of odds back there at one time and then they're gone, they're going to wonder what the heck happened. So, just have table awareness, let the dealer know and be aware. And why would you remove odds? All sorts of reasons. All of a sudden, the table goes cold or choppy. You want to protect your bankroll. The shooter looks nervous, or you don't like the vibe, do it. you want to redeploy those odds chips with different bets. Maybe you're ahead and you want to lock up profit. Or let's say, I see it happen a lot where people turn off bets and they remove odds if a dice bounces out. Sometimes they'll say same dice, other times they'll take a new one from the batch of dice and go for it. And they might just say, hey, I don't feel it. Let me get confidence again on what's going on, and I can always put those things back. So here's some strategic uses. Adding odds after a safe number of rolls. If you got a 6 and 8, whatever that safe number is, maybe 2 or 3, you should expect a 7 1 out of every 6. Of course, you're going to have some that might go 15 rolls without a 7, but on average, it will be 1 out of every 6 rolls. Maybe you're trying to ladder down your odds for profit lock. You start with max odds, and now I don't understand why you would do that. And after each non-7 roll, you reduce your odds, pulling some back, but leaving enough for a good win. If you've got, let's say the number is 6, and you've got 125 behind, let's say they roll, they take a 9, and there's an 8. So you're taking 1 down after every roll, and there's another 9. You might stop right there to say, okay, I'm looking for a 6. And that's, now we're getting into the area where we're expecting that 7. And another 9, and another 9. That's 4 9s, interesting. And another 8, and another 9, wow. And another 8, and another 8, and there's your 7. So that's a very interesting roll. Too bad we didn't have all our money on the 9. We would have been doing well. But that's, sometimes people want to do that. They want to ladder down, lock in their profit. And then sometimes, another strategic use is a last minute odds press. Let's say you hit something big in the box and you got a 6, you only have $50 down. You take that and you just drop $75 down to go with the max odds all of a sudden. Maybe you're waiting to play with casino money on your odds. I'm not sure. You're like, hey, there's a lot of different things that you can do. Also, protecting your bankroll. If you don't feel good about a shooter, you can take down your odds. You can add odds if you feel good about a shooter. And then adjusting odds after a come or don't come. If you're playing multiple numbers, you can add or remove on any come point individually as the roll continues. You don't have to do them all at the same time. You can add or remove on individual numbers. Just be clear and tell the dealer, because the dealer will be making those adjustments for you. And then here's some etiquette in dealer communication. Always wait for the dice to be in the middle. And all of the payouts are done and the dealer is available to go. Sometimes you have to to get in there pretty quick, because if the stick man thinks nobody's betting, they're going to push the dice to somebody. Make clear eye contact with your dealer. Use direct phrases like, odds on my pass line, take down my odds, reduce my odds to 50. Something like that. Be very exacting. Never be afraid to ask the dealer for help either. That's what they're there. Part of their job is to get the correct payouts, but also to help people. Odds moves are routine and welcome as long as they're clear and quick. Do's and don'ts. Use your right to add, reduce, or remove odds to fit your strategy and comfort level. You should also communicate clearly and politely with your dealer. Always wait for the right moment. And then know your payouts. So this is an interesting one. If you've got a 5 with $100 and you ask the dealer, take me down to 75, what you should do, that should be an even number, or that should be, I kind of like 80. A dollar is a dollar, but that means you're just going to get more dollars in your rack. Maybe do 80, because what they're going to do is they're going to divide that by 2 and then multiply it by 3. That this payout unit is $40, so it's 40, 40, 40, which equals 80 pays 120. So it just makes it a little bit easier for them in the math. I like to be kind to my dealers. I do think that being kind to dealers gives you some good karma at the table. And if you're a comeback player and you've been really good to your dealers, nice, friendly, they're going to let you know if you forget to put down a comeback. They're going to help you play as much as possible because they know what you're doing. They've seen it all. Here's some don'ts. Touch your better odds when the shooter has the dice. Just don't touch anything on the table at all. Pile on odds in desperation. If you're chasing losses, don't pile on odds just to try to get that money back. And then forget to take down your odds if you need those chips elsewhere. All sorts of things. You might want to, if you have heavy odds on the 5 and your comeback hits the 8, you might want to move some odds over because you want to try to play with casino money. That's a strategy. All right, so now you're equipped to play a little bit smarter and adapt faster by adjusting your odds bet and just the right time. If you like what you're seeing, if you're learning a little bit extra, if you're a new player, go ahead and subscribe, comment. I'll answer questions, comments, whatever. Let's see it. Thanks for watching Craps University.